I think I'm an introvert. That's what I discovered last night. So I am in Manchester for the Brits. So the Brits are tonight. So it's Saturday that I'm recording this. The Brits are happening tonight, and I came up last night for a dinner that Meta had arranged for us. And I've never known about the introvert extrovert argument, because I think it's a bit split, because I don't think anybody is exactly one thing. And I do tell people that I think comedians are more introverted than people realise, because we like to be in control of when the attention is on us, which is what comedy is, right? So I could, for example, I would feel less anxiety and nerves walking out in front of 15,000 people than I would about just being in the car with one other person. That's my worst, actually. I used to always worry about that in comedy. I would sometimes have to drive with other people. If it was a friend, it's fine, but sometimes you'll be booked on a show and then they'll say, and can you drive this other act? And when I was new, I didn't know you didn't have to. And that would be the worst bit for me. I would be, in fact, in the car, and usually it's fine when you start talking, and that's all okay. It's the build up to it, about being sat in the car. What are we going to talk about? And that's when I would start to alphabeticalize things I could say. Like, for example, at A, I would think, right, that could be Australia. I'm going back to Australia in May, so I'll talk about that. B would be about the Brits. I'm like, right, I'm going to the Brits, so I'll talk about that. C would be car. I've got a new car. We're in my car. Let's talk about my car. I would have to do that just so I knew I had something to say. And then I'd be looking forward to being at the gig when there's a nice break, when not only are there other people around, but also I get to be on stage talking to an audience and not to that one person I'm sat next to in the car. Maybe that does make me an introvert. Maybe I should have picked it up earlier from those clues. But last night, being around extroverts made me realise I'm an introvert, because some people are just, yeah, they're out there. They're happy to really let everyone know they're there. And not in a bad way, but not in a me way. So I was happy with my seat. There was, how many tables? 5 tables. And I had one that meant no one was really behind me. I could sort of overlook everyone, not in a judgmental way. No, not in a judgmental way, but I could just see them all. And so I was aware of what was going on. I could see the dynamics. And yeah, there were bigger introverts than me. There was one guy, definitely, and he seemed very nice, but he seemed very happy on his own. And that's not on his own. He was sat with other people, but at first I thought he might have been being left out. Then I realised that was his choice. Yeah. Then some people were just. It might be being excited to be around other people that are like them. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe those people who are extrovert, when they get back to their room, maybe they were like, whew, that was hard work. I was doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. There was that one comedian on the end of the table just judging everyone. But you never know. Anyway, I did go to something years ago called the ITV Palooza. I'd never heard the word Palooza, but it was ITV showing a screening of everything they had coming out. And God, I just really realised that's not my world. Just not my world. And then, yeah. So I've been wondering since, am I introverted? Am I extroverted? So I can be an extrovert. I can go out and I can talk to people, but then I can very much be inside myself and decide I'm just going to sit this one out. So I'm extroverted around people I know, but then I've got a friend like that actually called Jamie, and he was always the same, really funny, but only when he was comfortable with people. He was still the same. I say was, he's still with us and he's still the same. Once he gets to know people, more outgoing. But at first, just let me. But then if I go into a room and I'm like, when I went to Leon's stag do, we went to that amazing house we all stayed in, and it was huge. It was incredible. And I was there, and I'd go and say hello to everybody and get to know them. And so that sense I'm good, but maybe it's because I've got the in of Leon and I know people and I know people there, and then I get to meet the others, and then I'm fine. So what am I? Am I an introvert or am I an extrovert? But then today I went to Starbucks to get a tea. So I know that's not like the cool thing to do, but when you're on the road, you just want to go somewhere where they just they can at least deliver a tea that you know how it's going to be. First sip, that's good. Anyway, so I have porridge every morning at the minute. That's my breakfast. It used to be 2 eggs. I've moved to porridge. So my thought then was, would an introvert have this podcast, or would that be an extrovert? Because I'm sitting down every week and talking to you, but then you can't talk back. This is like being on stage. I'm having a real identity crisis here. What am I? Which one is it then? I'll gauge it over the next hour. Anyway, I went to Starbucks to get the porridge, because that's the closest I could have to what I have at home. Ideally, it would be gluten-free porridge, but you can't have everything. And when you order porridge there, they ask what you want with it. So it's like, you can have jam, you can have honey, you can have mixed seeds. So I said to the girl working behind the counter, can I have honey and the mixed seeds? Which I then said, that sounds like a band. She gave me nothing. Nothing. And I thought, she was younger. So actually, when I was growing up, would I always know that they were sort of bands from the 70s and 80s? That's sort of how bands were. Someone and the Somethings. I can't think of a single example now, but there's loads, isn't there? I don't know how you'd even ask that. How would you Google that? What am I trying to think of? There's loads, isn't there? Band names, someone and the Somethings. That would have been a great one, actually. Someone should have done that. Someone should have done that and lent into it. Best band name format. This is from Reddit. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Don't know that one. Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Elvis Costello and the Imposters. I didn't know that was a thing, but glad it's not in the Pips. The Pips was always one I knew. Huey Lewis and the News. Echo and the Bunnymen. Right, you get the idea. Anyway, Honey and the Mixed Seeds sounds like that. Yeah, it didn't mean anything to her, I don't think. She wasn't accepting that joke at all. But anyway, is that an extroverted thing to do? Because I made the joke. Maybe she's just an introvert, didn't want to give anything away. I don't know what I am. Shall I message some friends right now? Let me message. I've got a WhatsApp group of friends. They'd be good people to ask. Am I an introvert or an extrovert? Yeah, I've asked them that now. Let's see what they say. They'll know. I was gonna message a few people, but there'll be a good variation of people to ask. So I am in Manchester. As I said, had a lovely dinner last night at a place called the Grand Pacific. it had someone singing live, which was nice. But in a restaurant like that, you don't clap after every song. I think that's more if it was like a bar that you could at least clap that it's over. Because he was singing at a level which meant you could hear everybody talking, which was perfect. By the way, it was like if you just went to a restaurant and they were playing music. I guess you wouldn't clap at the end of every song. But nobody else clapped, so I did. I think I did like one or two, and then realised it just doesn't happen there. But that was really nice to have. The food was great. I had carrot soup. I had pumpkin and butternut squash ravioli, and then a chocolate tart. Lovely, really nice. Grand Pacific in Manchester, which was great. And then as I came back to the hotel room, had a weird night's sleep. Had one of those nights sleep where, have you ever had it where you are tired in your dreams? So I had one dream. I know it's boring if people talk about their dreams, so I'm just going to keep it vague. But it was that it had got to midday, 11 o'clock midday. I hadn't slept yet. And I realised if I'm going to get my 7-8 hours sleep, I'm going to have to sleep until 8 o'clock tonight. And I was just tired in the dream. And I thought, how tired must I be that I'm dreaming about being tired? But I slept well. And then, so people were talking last night about what are they going to wear to the Brits, because there's no strict dress code. In fact, I asked a while ago, I sent the email, and they said, it's not, I think, did I say this last week? It's not the BAFTAs, they said. It's not stuffy. You can have fun. So we were sat down last night, and I was sat between my friend George and a guy I hadn't met called, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but oh God, I need to know it for later. Richard? I think Richard. Anyway, George said, what are you wearing tomorrow? This guy, Richard, if that's his name, is wearing a tuxedo. He said, velvet tux. And I said, wow, really? Which I think it made him nervous then, because he thought, what does that mean? And I was like, oh no, you've gone big. You've gone for the posh one. And then, Georgia just messaged me with that guy's name. It is Richard. And I've had a response to one of the messages in the group. Extrovert, I'd say, a confident starter of conversations, especially if there is a helicopter in the area. See, that's a good point, actually, because I am very good at talking when it's things that I know about, like helicopters, American football, comedy, TV, films, books. That'll get me going. Good point. I'll respond in a bit. But anyway, he's wearing a velvet tuxedo, and George wearing a suit. And then George said, what am I wearing? And I said, I'm dressing as the same as Bad Bunny wore in the halftime show. And then George laughed. And then Richard hadn't heard. So he said, that is his name, I now know. So what are you wearing? Because he had now turned to talk to someone else. And I said, you just see the NFL halftime show, I'm wearing what Bad Bunny wore. And then Joel, this other guy on the table, later on, he asked, what are you wearing? And I said the same. And then George said, sorry, you've answered that question the same 3 times. Were you not joking? And no, I wasn't joking. That is what I decided to wear. So I couldn't think what to wear. I didn't want to just go suit because I don't really feel that comfortable in them. So in bed the other night, I just thought, what if I did that? And I looked up, and it turns out I didn't even know that Zara sort of helped make his outfit. So he wore like a shirt with a tie, then a scissor cut white jumper over the top of that white shirt and tie, white trousers and white trainers. So I thought I could do that. So I did, and I have. So it looked quite normal and smart, just with the regular sweater over it. It looked like a bit of a vibe, I'd say. When I cut it, it became a bit more out there, extroverted, put a tick in the extrovert box. It became that. But I'm going for it. So we'll see. But yeah, I feel a bit nervous about it now that everyone else is just wearing a suit. But then this other guy, Joel, he said he's wearing those sort of wide Gen Z trousers and a low cut top, very low V. But then he's got very broad shoulders. And I think he's quite tall. Not tall, but tall. I think it'll work. So yeah, you'll probably have seen photos. I probably would have posted it by now, so you'll see. But this is me telling you. So I have to get ready for that after this. But yeah, that's my outfit choice. And then George didn't know that the K-pop Demon Hunters are performing tonight, so I got to break that news to him. So he was very excited. He said that I think it's his daughter that loves it. So in fact, George and then this lady who is a mum, she was there around the same time, and then the two of them were singing this song at me in either ear, both ears. Both ears. I could hear it. It was both ears. They were either side of me, and I could. So I was getting it from both angles of this K-pop Demon Hunter, and they couldn't believe I didn't recognise any of them. But I'm sure I'll love it. Look forward to seeing them tonight. And then maybe I'll be probably the only person, but very few aren't going to know who they are, I think. And maybe I'll be the only person to have done it the other way, which is to have seen them live and then have to go and watch the film and understand what it is. Because I think every parent who's then been taken to a show of theirs would have known the film or heard the music as their children are watching it, I guess. And then there's me. So there's that. People are very excited about Harry Styles, seeing him. And yeah, I guess there's only so much I can talk about it because it's not happened yet. But that'll all be for next week. I went to the spa this week. I went to Aire. A-I-R-E. There's hopefully you realised there was an extra letter coming there. I wasn't just spelling out the word air. E. In London, it's where it used to be the guy who wrote Peter Pan. What's his name? Oh, that's annoying. Is there a Barry in there? I'm thinking J.M. Barrie, but I'm going to have to Google it. What am I Googling here? Who wrote Peter Pan? So second Google of the episode. J.M. Barrie. There we go. Great. Lovely. Phew. It was his house. And they turned it into a spa after. So it's 2 floors down. And it's amazing. What was annoying was, when you sort of get shown around, they limit how many people are there at a time. So it's not loads. I think they said like 15 or something. And there's how many pools? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 plunge pools, 3 plunge pools. It's very big. Anyway, one of the plunge pools is in the hottest room. So you've got a room that's a steam room that's 40 degrees. So if someone's sat opposite you, actually when you walk in, you don't know for sure if anyone's there. Then you can sort of see a figure, but you can't see their faces. But then in the corner of that steam room is a plunge pool. So I don't know how they do that, but you get both temperatures. So you're so hot, then you climb down, and as soon as you climb out, you want to go. You can get, there's like rows of seats. You go up to like the second bit, and if you stand up there, it's as hot as it can be because of the heat rising. So you would sort of go between the two. But what was annoying was at the start, there's this one pool that you swim through, but it sort of goes around like, I guess it's almost like a tunnel. It goes all around. So you go through and it's wall either side, and you sort of feel very otherworldly as you're going through it. Anyway, sat in the corner, and around the corner you couldn't see were these 2, I think they were American ladies, and they were being a little bit loud. But whenever the guy looked round, he couldn't see them. He could just see us. So he thought we were being loud. So he went. In fact, the first time he had to speak to us was through a reflection in a mirror. And he went, "Shh, keep the noise down." And we were like, thumbs up, like, yeah, but not us, as much as you can signal that with your hands without, you don't want to shout back, because then you are the one making noise. Then they carried on and he couldn't see them. Then he came round the other side and he leant round and went, and we were like, it's not us. And then we moved to another bit that was like a smaller pool, but he went to come and tell, we could still hear them. Then he came back we could see him, but he didn't see us down in the little pool bit. And he thought it was still us. So annoying. We're like, it's not us, but you can't shout that back. But yeah, one of the pools was pools. I mean, I can say that properly. It was full of salt, so you could float, but you could properly float. Like, I didn't realize how much you can float in these things, but you can float. That's like, at one point I managed to get it so I could just lay on my side like how I sleep, and I was just floating, and that's proper relaxation. That's very cool. It was definitely enough salt that you could do a proper handstand in there, but that definitely wasn't the vibe. Then a big jacuzzi bit, and yeah, there was a shower with salt. You just put salt all over you. Then there was a very hot pool. But yeah, it's very, very nice, and relaxing. I was there for 2 hours, but there's no clocks. You don't really know how long you're in there. I thought time was up, and then we still had 25 minutes or so. And I couldn't believe that. So yeah, that was lovely. I do have a few comments and stuff I've been getting this week that I haven't had a chance to respond to. So I thought I'd do it on the podcast. Where should we go first? Let me go into Spotify first, and then I'll go over to YouTube. Let's see what you've been saying. Comments. Oh, the first one is about orcas. I'm just gonna have a sip of water, but I'll stay with you. You just won't be able to see me if you're watching. I'm sorry this isn't as visually exciting as other episodes. With me being in the hotel, I'm just sat in the corner of the room, and I've got the curtain closed because I think it's just too bright if I have that behind me. Orcas. There are orcas. I think that's supposed to be there are orcas. There are orcas off the coast of Western Australia. Many people don't realise we saw about 6 out there. A tiny place called Bremer Bay. Quite a drive from Perth, but you can fly part way. It's Western Australia, so everywhere is a long way. The orcas live just off the edge of the continental shelf and feed on all the good stuff there. Just beautiful. You could add that to your list for next time you come to Perth, because you are coming back, right? Question mark. 2 winky emojis. Very nice. Thanks, Fiona. I'll reply to that in a bit, but that's we've got 2 comments from Fiona. I was a bit invested in Richard Parker's safety when you let him out with the big fox. It added a big mental load to my freeway commute until the PS brackets. I think everyone fact checked you on it because it was high in the Google results. Do foxes eat cats? Going to start drinking a tea when I listen, because it does feel more like a conversation. Only listen to this podcast because they drive me bonkers, but this is just a good listen on the way home. Oh, that's high praise. If this is the only podcast that's managed to, because a lot of them do my head in as well, then I'm flattered. Thanks, Fiona. Well, that's another reason for me to come back to Perth, and I will do. Had lovely shows in Perth. Were you at the last one I came to? Let me know, because there was one where a drunk lady bought me a Coke and then didn't think I was grateful enough for the Coke. This is while I was on stage. I think I was grateful. You could order drinks to your seat, so I joked and I'll have a Coke, and then she actually did. And she gave me the Coke, then I was grateful. Then later on, but halfway through the show, she sort of interrupted it just to say that she didn't think I was grateful enough for it, or I hadn't shown enough gratitude later in the show for the Coke. So I think I might have taken a sip and not mentioned her. And then in the end, she climbed up onto the stage. Unless that's you, but let me know. Thanks for recommending Lucy Foley last week. I've just read the guest list and now on the Paris apartment. That's so nice. I actually, Julie, Julie, I actually I saw that before and I sent that to Lucy because Lucy messaged me in the week because I'm going to her book launch on Wednesday. What a life. Here I am pre-Brits, Wednesday book launch. And she messaged to check that I was still up for it. I think it's at Claridge's. And I don't know what I'm going to wear there. I probably won't wear the Bad Bunny halftime outfit. Don't know what I'll do there. But your message came up as she messaged, so I sent her that, and she was over the moon. So that's so lovely. So yes, she's got a new one coming out. I'm not sure if she's posted about what it is yet, so I'll keep that to myself. Someone's saying thanks for showing Richard Parker. He's not here with me this time. I switched to video for the Peppa Pig photos and was not disappointed. And then to see Mr. P made my day. About Peppa Pig again. Yeah, I had to get other photos done. If you didn't hear last week, I tried to get passport photos done and accidentally used a Peppa Pig photo booth. I knew it was a Peppa Pig photo booth, but I didn't know that it only did photos with Peppa Pig in it. Your trailer should be you Googling something, then pushing the microphone away and laughing about the result. So I should push the microphone away. That was me. I did a trailer last week and just mocked other podcasts, basically. And then we're back to TV stuff. So that's very nice. Thanks, everyone. I will get through more of them after this. I've got 2 hours until we have to meet downstairs. So what I will do is go over some of the comments. I think that would be nice to do. And reply to them all. Again, if you do want to get in touch, it is either Spotify comments, YouTube comments. If you don't have either, I'm sure that's a possibility. DM me on Instagram. Maybe I'll see it there. Let me just check in case I've got any in the request folder. Oh, I've just had one come in. Catherine. Okay, let me just do one. Just listening to your ski trip podcast episode, and you were talking about your accent. Yeah, I really think you sound like a young Alan Partridge. Right, why have you said Alan Partridge rather than Steve Coogan there? That's interesting, isn't it? Is it specifically Alan Partridge, or could it be Steve Coogan? But there's more on that in a moment. Maybe more the phrases and rhythm to your word flow. Is that a thing? Word flow. Don't mind it. I would love to know if anyone else has likened you to him. I hope you don't take it as an insult, as I think you are both brilliant. Well, thank you. And strangely, so you've said Alan Partridge there rather than Steve Coogan. I've had it recently. People telling me I look like Steve Coogan. Somebody during a show the other night shouted out, "You look like Steve Coogan." And I remember being told that in 2018 at a show. And then hadn't sort of every now and again someone will say it's either a bit sounding like or it's looking like. It's like people don't quite know, and they'll sort of maybe it's something more than that. Maybe it's not the looking or the sounding. Maybe it's something mannerisms. Maybe it is, as you say, the word flow that makes it happen. I don't know, but so that's an interesting one, Catherine, because it's happening more and more in the last. It wasn't just you and then her. There's been others. There's been some comments under videos, and there's been people after shows saying it. So I don't know where that's come from, or what. As I'm getting older, maybe that's happening. So yeah, you're not alone. Let me know. I imagine people abroad won't particularly know Alan Partridge as much as they would know Steve Coogan. Maybe, I think. I feel like that didn't travel around the world as much as like The Office did. Well, definitely didn't. But I'm going to show you as well, actually, that I got a bag of gifts for the Brits. Can I talk you through it? Well, I think we'll have fun with that. So I'm here with Meta, who have brought me up. In fact, got the train up yesterday. First class, with Avanti West Coast was one of the worst things, not the worst things ever, obviously, there's a lot worse than that. But the experience was rubbish. So I didn't pay for the ticket, just to be clear. So, but I know it was like £200, and it was the menu was the seat was uncomfortable anyway. It's fine. The menu was I ordered the cheese board. It was pretty small but fine, and I had a cup of tea eventually because I kept asking, is there tea coming round? And it just took. That did sound like Alan Partridge, I'll give you that. And then eventually got a tea. And then the train ride must have been 2 hours. I just didn't see anybody again, any staff. Like, no one was out. I just wanted another tea. I wanted them to take my plate away because it was dirty all over the table. And I just didn't see anybody. And I walked up and down. There was 2 carriages, and I couldn't find anyone. I even got off the train at one of the stops to look up and down, see if I could see anybody. Then a lady further down the train told me to get back on the train. And I just couldn't see anybody. And then I walked up and down, eventually found a lady in one of the first class carriages. And I said, is it possible just to get a tea? She said, that's coach C. I was in coach J at this point. She went, coach C. I said, right. I said, sorry, is it not? I thought you just sort of got free tea when you're in first class. What a mad thing I'm complaining about. But basically, just to let you know, it's like you paid for this first class experience. It's just not. And then she went, oh, you're first class. And I went, well, yeah, that's why I'm sat there. Yeah, I'm not first class. I'm in first class. And she eventually came down with it. And I said, and there's like snacks on this menu. Snacks? She went, oh, no, we're not doing those. Oh, okay. Right. So you're just not doing the snacks? She went, no. Right. So there must have been people around there. It was an American couple who just seemed like they were on holiday. They'd probably paid for that. Rubbish. Sorry, what a mad thing to complain about, but let me just reply to Dustin. And I can see Leon's type in. Okay. I'm just replying to Dustin's one. Dustin said, confident start of conversations. Especially if there's a helicopter in the area. That's a good summary. Leon summed it up very well. He said, bit of both, probably. You can turn it on and off. Yes, I think that's the fairest summary. I'm trying to work it out. Last night I was with a lot of extroverts, and it made me feel like an introvert, or realise I might be. Then today made a joke to a girl at Starbucks, and she didn't react. There you go. Thank you. Sorry, that's the. Was that too much of an insight? I never know how much you want from me on this. So anyway, let's have a look through here. The first gift I got is it. I don't actually know what it is. It's just a box that says Elton John on it. It says Elton John 0 alcohol Blanc de Blancs. I'm thinking, is that just non-alcoholic wine? Sorry. 0 alcohol, Elton John. I think it's 0 alcohol wine. Then an umbrella. as well. They've really covered all bases here. A really nice umbrella. Won't open that, obviously. A book by Mark Ronson. So and he's performing tonight. Night People. How to be a DJ in 90s New York City. Well, a bit late for that, but it might be interesting. Might be. I did see him on, I think it was Sunday Brunch the other day. It was almost like he was a parody of himself. Sort of acting like you think, like someone was doing an impression of him. I don't know if like his sort of style of being this sort of like slightly, what would you say, skitty, scatty, scattish, skittish, that sort of like life in the 90s, like it's sort of it's a bit of a joke now. It's 25 years later. Not to mock you, thanks for the book, but you know, I don't know. Is his character a bit dated now? It was always a bit like awkward and like I'm a bit cool and I'm a bit mysterious, sort of like that thing. Well, I've got stuff by ACT, AKT, Prepared to Perform, the Everyday Encore Body Oil, Rosehip, Phytocomplex, Squalane. Don't have a clue. I don't know what this is. Prepared to Perform, the Everyday Encore Body Oil. So is that at the end of the day then, the encore? Or when you get home after the day and before you're about to go out for the evening? That's the encore? It's just words. Rosehip, Phytocomplex, Squalane, SCO1, Exterior, Orange Grove, Pettigrain, Mandarin, Neroli. I don't know what it's saying to me. I think this is... Well, I'm reading this to you. So I'm going to show it to camera now. So if you want to pause that or freeze frame it or whatever and have a look so you can see the words I've just said and how little that means. Then at the side it says SCO1 EXT dot Orange Grove. What? Midday sun beats heavily on the grove. Sweet aromas burst from the freshly peeled orange. Neroli blossom dances, alive on the breeze. This is on the packaging to let you know what it is, by the way. Another Negroni over ice. It's summer after all. At first, sliced orange, sweet mandarin, Tuscan sun. And then, bitter Negroni, Neroli blossom. If you're thinking, Jake, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Neroli blossom. Afternoon siesta. Finally, Italian Cyprus, Pettigrain, La Dolce Vita. What is it? It's a body oil. For a moment I thought, is this something to put in an alcoholic drink? But it's not. This is body oil. It's body oil. What? I'm sorry, obviously they've given us stuff for free and I'm supposed to be... but I don't understand the packaging. And a deodorant balm from them. That I know what it is. Okay, body oil, deodorant balm. It's like stocking fillers. And this is from First Aid Beauty. KP Bump Eraser Body Scrub. Safe for sensitive skin. Good, because I think I've got sensitive skin. I used to think there was certain... when I was younger, there was certain... suntan lotion or sunscreen, sun cream, whatever you call it, I was allergic to. When we go on holiday, if we go over to like Florida, there'd be one day I'd just have to stay inside. My skin would come up with like blotches, and my mum would always say that my nan was the same. I don't know what that was, but luckily it went away. Then I remember going on holiday with Jonathan Stock and his family. I think we went to France somewhere, and again I had one day, my skin, my neck, it was always my neck would be itchy. My ears and my neck would be itchy. Clearly just burn. But it would be blotchy. Sorry, gross. But I would just have to stay inside for a whole day. I'd just be really tired and just have to put lotion on, just sleep. I just couldn't go out in the sun for a day. Every holiday it was like that. Still is really, but I do it beforehand. As in not before I go, before the blotches get me on my neck. Why can't I say the letter K? AKT or ACT. Maybe it's just called ACT. They've got this as well. The Assistant, the key to zero waste, contains one tube squeezer key. What? I don't know what anything is. Oh, I have seen these. This you to get to the bottom of it. Ooh, it's nice actually. It's you know when you're running out of tube stuff, you wrap that up and you turn it and really give it a big turn, and it gets the last stuff out of like a toothpaste roll or something. That's very nice actually. I thought it was a chocolate, but no, that's good, Act. Thank you, Act. I'm back on board. And then some facial radiance pads. Oh, okay. This is stuff I've never owned. Never owned anything like this. Facial radiance pads. What do you do here? What do you just clean it? Wipe pad across face, neck, and decolate once or twice daily after cleansing. I don't know if I will, but it's not. Oh, and something else by Act. A foaming body scrub. Exfoliant Mousson pour le corps. Wow, foaming body scrub for those who crave a deeper, more polished performance. Blimey. A lot of words. There's more than I'm saying. And born on stage, adored off stage, Act. Okay, thanks, Act. Act London. Created by West End stars Andy Coxon and Ed Curry. Right, sorry. It was just overwhelming for me to know what that was. They've also given me a Babyliss Japanese razor. So yeah, I've done very well. Sorry, I wasn't complaining about it. I just didn't know what it was, if that came across like that. But that is very nice. So yeah, there's a few things for me to take home. It is very nice stocking fillers, but stocking fillers all the same. And yeah, a Mark Ronson book. Great stuff. Lovely. Thank you. I don't know what else I've been up to this week. I did the charity night. I did the gig in London at the Comedy Store on Tuesday. I saw my friend Jamie on Wednesday. We meet up every now and again. It's my friend so we were at secondary school together, and then he was the year below me, and we just knew of each other at school, but we never really spoke. I think we always knew we would get along, but we never really spoke until when I was in my second year of sixth form. He was in the first year of sixth form, and we became friends, best friends, and then hung out all the time. I got him a job at Legoland, so we worked together, went to school together, and we would just. Did you ever have the friendship where when you learn to drive, you just one of you, when you first get a car, you learn to drive, you just drive around, and we would just do that, go to a petrol station, pick up some food, and just drive, and that was it. Just because you can, I guess. We should just do that and just talk for hours. And then went to different universities, but each other's friends would know each other. It's been friends for years, basically. But now we just meet up and we just go for a walk around London and lunch. That's sort of what we do. Just get food. Got an honest burger. What I do in restaurants, if I'm booking or if I just go in, I always tell them there's more people than there are. So we went in, and the guy said, for two. This is a Wednesday afternoon, so I thought, it doesn't feel that bad. It's not busy, but I said, potentially three. And what they do then is they give you like a 4-seater, bigger table, because otherwise you just end up being the two tables in these places are too small. So I say, as I said that, Jamie was taking his jacket off. So he went, who's coming? I said, Dan might come. No, I think I said the word name John. I said, John might come. And he went, oh, right. And then I was like, yeah, just that, in case John makes it. And they went, great. And then I told Jamie what I do. That if I'm booking online, I would say 3, unless it's, maybe if it's like a romantic, I don't really book tables like that, but if it was that, maybe would I? No, maybe I'd still say 3 or 4. It's just better. You get more space. Otherwise, sometimes those 2 tables are like, I don't think I ever go out for a romantic dinner, by the way. Those 2 tables are just too close together. You can hear everyone's conversation. Yeah. So anyway, always just say an extra person or 2. Obviously, what happens then is they keep a menu laid out on one seat, and they bring enough glasses for the water for this person. Then you just have to say, oh, he's not going to make it. But it just helps. But then Jamie did say later, as we left, he was like, there was a bit of me thinking, he just invited someone else. He thought maybe I had a meeting I couldn't get out of, so I just planned it to make it seem like we'd stumbled across an Honest Burger and I had a meeting there the whole time. He was really thrown, but it's a good idea. Anyway, we went for a nice walk around London. Just do that and chat, basically, for hours. So that was really nice on Wednesday. Honest Burger. And the reason, I should say this, the reason I did Honest Burger is I did a show last week. It's not out yet. It's but I did say to them, because you always have to sign something with these things to be like, not to talk about it. But they said, oh, no, it's fine, we don't talk about it loads. I basically did it's an online show. It's Sam Holland, the chef. He gave me a lovely book, in fact. So we made these, we made burgers, and I said it quickly, like I'm not supposed to say it, so if you say it quickly, it's fine. They said I could talk about it, just don't go into loads of detail. I don't think I am. Anyway, we made burgers, and then I've just been craving burgers ever since. I actually made the burgers myself that we made, and they were really good. Can I say that? Yeah, they were. And it's from his book. It's because his book, the ingredients and the steps were easy and made sense, and I made the burgers. And the aim of the show is you order a takeaway on like one of those apps, and then you make it and see who wins. So it's like, you could get takeaways, or you could just make this stuff at home as well. It's healthier, save money, make it, and it comes just as quickly, and it sort of talks you through it. It's good fun. Nice guy. Really liked him. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I've just told you everything there, but they did keep it vague. I think I was vague. Anyway, I'll talk about it when it's out. But it was nice to do. Really nice show. Sam Holland. Yeah. I was just checking I had the right name then. He's Tom Holland's brother, so I was checking I hadn't said the wrong thing. Sam Holland. Sam Holland's the chef. Anyway, I was craving burgers, and so we went and had the burger there, and his was better. But I'm not saying that. I am saying it, but I'm not just saying it. I feel like my brain was trying to give me a message in my sleep last night that I am tired. Because if I was dreaming about being tired, and then I feel like, I mean, the whole point of this show, not the point, but what does happen, the theme, a consistent thing is that I do talk around a lot and go off on different things. But is this one more than ever? More than usual? I don't know. I always make it 53 minutes. We know that rule. That's because if you're a new listener, it's one lady's commute to work on a Monday morning is 53 minutes. So she just asks that it's always 53 minutes, so we can get her to work. But it will sometimes mean for the last 4.5 to 5 minutes, I run out of things to say. What can I talk about here? I didn't do YouTube comments, did I? Let's jump over to the YouTube comments. Again, I will say this point right now. Thanks for reviewing. People have been reviewing more, and that makes a big difference. So I really appreciate that. I'm worried if I click this video, you're going to hear me twice. Oh, that's very nice. Did I respond to that? No, but what a comment. To me, this feels like a podcast version of Seinfeld. A podcast about nothing, and I'm absolutely here for it. Love your work. That is lovely. Thank you. Jake, love the pod. Am I just reading out praise? Yeah, but it could go either way. I don't know what it is until I read it. Jake, love the pod, love the name, love hearing Richard Parker's comings and goings. A quick note on milkmen. Yep, milkmen, not milk people or milk operatives. And then that's got one of those, when you click something on YouTube or like Wikipedia, it's got like a blue link. For some reason, when you say milk operatives, that comes up blue with a magnifying glass. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go onto YouTube on the episode. Which one was it? I think it was Jakey Says Relax. And yeah, I'll click on it in a second though. We'll go on that journey together. not milk people or milk operatives, but you can call them milkies if you become pals. We have one in East London. Of course, you're in East London with a milkie. I have my milk delivered every Monday and Friday. Wednesday's also available, but there's only so much milk a girl can use. Gold top in a glass bottle, delivered by an electric milk float. Milk float also is blue with a magnifying glass. Vegan milk available if needed. Shout out to all the milkies listening on their rounds. Huh. Thanks, Clara. I'm going to click your link in a moment. Great start to the week. So hilariously entertaining to watch you think and open more and more tabs in your brain while talking. Okay, that's good to know, because to get that as positive feedback makes me feel less self-conscious that you are listening to this and you're going, yeah, that is sort of what we're here for. And yes, you do that. Thank you. While talking and hopping around from one to another, it never gets boring. I love it. And then there's more. I won't read all of that, but thank you. I will read it all, and I've already replied, but I won't read it all on here. It's Ramadan month. Good time to vamp up on basic Arabic culture. That was me calling. I used the wrong name for something last week. Right, let's have a click on milk operatives here and see what happens. It's taken me to... No, just a very weird thing. First thing I can see is a guy looking really... It's taking me to a load of shorts, and I don't understand what it is, actually, so I ignore that. I don't know why that happened. But thank you, that's so nice. So, she's almost at work. I am going to relax for a bit before I go to the Brits later. Yeah, so today I've eaten porridge and I've had some grapes. I feel like I need something else. They've actually... Oh, there's a WhatsApp group of all the people going, and they sent the run through later. If I'll show you what it's like. Where is it? I saw it and it looked good because it had the food menu as well. Oh, what's this? Blimey, sorry. There's a lot going on in this group. I've not posted in it. Other people are. Okay, do you want to hear? This is the sweets menu. It went to sweets, SUITES. First course, I'll tell you what I'm having because it'll be the vegetarian options. Celeriac. Huh? Isn't that gluten? Oh no, celiac. Celeriac. I see. Yeah. I get. Yeah. That Darshi celeriac. Confit marge. Oh my god, this is more words like act again. I don't know what you're saying. Confit marge view farm leek. So leek, truffle, black garlic, leek ash. Second course will be, or winter tomato and white lake goat curd. I'll go, what kind of the salmon? Okay, I think I'll go celeriac. And then I'll have smoked tofu makhani, aloo tikki, spinach, kasuri methi. And then they've got these numbers, I don't know what they are. One is, it says brackets VE, so I'm guessing it's saying vegan. Then it says 0.13 CO2 E/kg. I've never seen that on a menu. Everything's got that. What does that mean? Well, I'll be asking someone later. Oh, the sweets. This is now SWEETS. Manchester tarts. I was going to say I met her last night. It was a bit harsh. And it's not about a specific person, just for the joke. Raspberry jam, coconut, shill boost cream, toasted coconut. And if you're wondering, that's a 0.25 CO2 E/kg. Vimto cheesecake. Welcome to Manchester. Vimto gel, whipped mascarpone. Oh, and then a Manchester bee. That's cool. Honey ganache. What would you go for? Manchester tart? The Vimto cheesecake? I think I want to try the Vimto cheesecake. Yeah. Right. She's at work. And I'm going to go and... I don't know what to do, actually. I'm a bit peckish. I'm going to get a snack. And then I'm going to just stop for a bit. I've got an hour and a half. And then I'm going to go to the Brits. And so, thanks for listening. I've also had one other message in the WhatsApp group from my friend Jam, and he said, replying to Leon's comment about am I an introvert or an extrovert, Leon said, bit of both probably. You can turn it on and off. And Jam said, I'd agree with this also. Then Dustin's just replied this moment, and he said, depends on the environment. If I'm with a load of football lads, brackets, thankfully hardly ever, I feel very introverted because I know the things I say won't land. Yeah, Dustin's given it as just sort of giving the answer about himself there, but that's good because it's true. That's about right. Yeah. So I think it's not strict rule. That's what I've landed on. This has been like an essay, but it went slightly off piece. I don't know. I think you're probably getting a D, but I don't think people are. I mean, there are some people who are extreme extroverts, and there are some people who are extremely introverted. But I think it's fair to say I'd say you're 60% one, 40% the other. And I would say I'm 60% extroverted, 40% introverted. Because if I want to be out, I don't know if it's that big. I don't know if it's that big. Because thinking about some true extroverts, when you go to a party and they are just the life and soul and they are just keeping everyone going, I'd have to be super comfortable with everybody I know there. I never had parties really growing up, apart from when I was at university. That was fine, everyone was around. But like over at mine, I wouldn't like having, because just the hosting and being, yeah. So no, not that big. Not that big. Maybe, is it 50-50? That seems like a boring non-answer. What am I? Maybe I'm, what did I say? 60% extra? Yeah, okay. 60% extroverted. Yeah, because if some people are 100% extroverted, some people are, they're out there, they're loud. How's everyone doing? We good? Got no, not shame, that sounds bad, but shame. And they'll just sort of talk to everyone, whereas I can talk and I can, if you ask me a question, I'm giving you an answer. I'm not a one word answerer, responder. I will give you, and I'll be able to like answer and I'll be able to talk about things. Yeah, let's do 60-40. Because I can be out and I can talk, but I can be in that 40% bracket and I can sit very comfortably there as well. I'm going with the 60-40 rule. Thanks for listening. If you could just tap on the review thing wherever you listen and just give it a review. It really does help. And any comments, I will respond, of course. Let me just check if we've had any reviews. Actually, I don't know if I can get that to load. But thank you so much for everybody who has left reviews and has got in touch. It's so lovely. And people are starting to do it now on Apple and Spotify. People are better on Spotify. So if you're listening on Apple, and I know you are, and you're in the UK, I mean, all over the world, yes, but I can only see the UK ones. But when I travel, when I go over to Australia and New Zealand later in the year, and when I go to America, I'll be able to see your reviews when I'm there. And that'll be fun. So thank you very much. Or if you have left a review, screen grab it. Send it to me, let me know. Screen grab, screenshot. Let me know, am I an extrovert or an introvert as well? Would I do this podcast as an introvert? Or is this my 60%? Because in a minute, I mean, I didn't make plans to see. I saw some of the people who I'm here with. They went out for walks this morning. I saw some people out for a walk together. They posted an Instagram story at 8:30 this morning. They were out together. Friends. I mean, I wouldn't do that. Very happy in my own company. There's also that. Take that into consideration. He's very happy in his own company. He might be bigger than 60-40. Maybe it is. Maybe it's 60-40 the other way. Let me know. Right. Thanks for listening. And as always, what do I say? As always, see you next Monday. I mean, it's cool if I don't do this bit. And as always, See you next Monday. Bye.